And that was Demons by Tim Petrus. I'm your host, Mysterio Music, and I'll be keeping you company on this spooky October evening. Keep it here on 66.6, LA's spookiest radio station. Ha 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 ha.
Last night the G Lights in the neck and got your heart round and round like a horse on a carousel. We go, will I catch up to love? I can never tell. I know, chasing after you is like a fairy tale. But I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel. Turning back now, round and round like a horse on a carousel. We go, will I catch up to love? I can never tell. I know, chasing after you is like a fairy tale. But I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel. This horse is too slow. We're always this close. Almost, almost. We're a freak show. Right when I'm near. It's like you disappear. Where'd you go? I stopped in your freak show. And it's all fun and games till somebody falls in love. But you already bought a ticket and there's no turning back now. Round and round like a horse on a carousel. We go, will I catch up to love? I can never tell. I know, chasing after you is like a fairy tale. But I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel. Why did you steal my cotton candy heart? You threw it in this damn coin slot. And now I'm stuck. Riding. Round and round like a horse on a carousel. We go, will I catch up to love? I can never tell. I know, chasing after you is like a fairy tale. But I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel.
Hello, sweetheart. Here I am, that vamp of camp, Miss Luna Lestrange, and welcome back to Luna's Drag Macabre, Inner Demons. If you've just joined us and you've missed the first episode, then what the hell have you been doing? Go back and watch the first one first so you can understand how it all works. Because I'm not explaining it again. Tonight we take one step closer to the gates of hell, in which another fiendish four will be battling it out to win their heat and reach the finale. Would you like a reminder of the prizes that our contestants could win? Well, even if you don't, Vicky's forgotten, so we're gonna have to do it. Roll the tapes. The winner of Luna's Drag Macabre Season 1 will receive a handcrafted crystal skull trophy courtesy of House of Lestrange, a customisable human hair wig by Jazz Alexander, a bespoke Paul's Creepy Creatures creation based on the winning drag persona, a gift card from Witchy Panda Crystal Jewellery, a piece of artwork hand-drawn by Rachel Jeffrey, and a hand-picked selection of Sonomi Queen Bling. Thank you, Luna, for explaining our prizes. You're welcome, Luna. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Oh, look at me thanking myself. Who do I think I am? Would you like a little reminder of our judges for this season? Because I certainly would. Crystal Paul, are you there? What's new? Tell me what's new, my love. Is there something in the air tonight?
Hello, it's me, Crystal Paul. There's definitely something in the air tonight. As you can see, I've gone deep sea diving and I've put on my scuba gear.
Well, can't wait to see how that plays out. And of course, everyone's least favourite old woman, Granny Vicky. How are you, darling? Did you manage to survive the first 8? Are you ready for another 4?
Am I ready for another 4? No, not really. We had the 4 last week. I thought that was it. You sent me another 4 across to watch and I'm just like, oh fuck. Do you know what I mean? What else can I be doing with my time? I've got other important things to do, like sleep. Now you want me to watch another fucking 4? Oh, come on in, let's get started. But I'm not promising you that I'll stay awake for the whole thing.
Charming. Isn't she lovely? And for our extra special guest judge tonight, we have the incredible, one-of-a-kind Baron LeVay. How are you, my love? Are you ready to meet our fiendish 4 for this evening?
Thank you, Luna. Hello, I'm Baron LeVay. For those of you who don't know me, I am Newcastle's premier drag king. Started drag in 2007. I'm old. And I like to play with gender and androgyny within my drag. I am also the co-host of Newcastle's only alternative / horror drag competition, Vamp as Tits. So I'm very excited to be here with you, Luna, for this amazing competition. I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone does.
Fabulous, thank you so much. So before we meet our contestants, let's talk mental health, as that is the focus of this season. And for the opening number this week, I decided to do Melanie Martinez, Carousel. I really like the song and the theme because of the sort of fun house kind of esque, sort of circusy carnival idea. I thought it was great to almost recreate emotions through characters. Obviously they're all myself and they're just all different incantations of myself. For me, it was a really good release to do. I think it was something that was probably long overdue. I've wanted to do that song for a long time, but I've just never found a fit for it and finally found a theme to do it. So I was really, really pleased. I'm really pleased with it as well. I really, really like that video. The charity that I'd like to highlight this week is the LGBT Foundation. They are a charity based in Manchester. However, they support the LGBT plus community all across the UK. So absolutely fantastic. They were founded in 1975, which is amazing to have been running as long as they have. And last year they celebrated their 45th anniversary of the LGBTQ helpline, which That's insane. Round of applause to you guys. Absolutely fabulous. Well done. While I was doing my research for this, I could honestly sit here for a good 25 minutes, half an hour talking about everything that they offer, but it's something that you would have to go and check. But they do such a huge variety of LGBTQ plus services, it's mind-blowing. There's the helpline that could help you with coming out, feeling alone and isolated, with mental health problems, with troublesome parents, reporting hate crimes. Honestly, the list goes on. Their helpline does great work and has got such a large range of services available. There's also help and resources available on safe sex, HIV testing, domestic abuse. There's substance abuse support, as well as something that I thought was really, really unique, and that is people with dementia that are in the LGBTQ plus community, support for those too. That's only a small handful of the services that they provide, so go check out their website, make a donation if you can, volunteer if you can, and just spread the word about them because they're fabulous. The LGBTQ Foundation can be contacted on 03453 30 30 30. They're available 9 till 9 on weekdays, and the weekends they're available 10 till 6. So a little round of applause to the LGBT Foundation. Absolutely insane work, guys, for many, many years. So keep doing what you're doing. You're doing amazing work. Thank you. Are you ready to meet our monsters? Let's get to it.
Best Victoria Carriage and Luna impression. Hello, darling. Hello, darling. Hello, darling. Want a fag?
So our first destination today is somewhere in Scotland, and we'll be meeting Dorian T. Fisk. Let's meet the monster.
Hello, I'm Dorian and I'm a genderqueer drag artist based in Glasgow. I originally got my start in drag in China, in Shanghai, about 5 years ago, and landed in Scotland in 2018 and have been based here ever since. And I would describe my drag as definitely hypermask, but with a twist of otherworldly burlesque, sometimes comedic, often monster. I like to make sure that there's some layers and underlying messages in my acts, not always in your face and obvious, but they're there. And primarily with my drag, I hope to entertain. However, for this particular performance, I have taken things in a very different vein. I do have elements of my own personal life story, sometimes played out in my acts, in some ways, symbolically, quite often. This one in particular does draw on a much darker period in my life. I've taken a period in my life from when I was 18, and I now know that the root cause of the darker period comes from that time. So at 18, I lost my dad and left the UK. And at the time I had a lot of feelings of guilt about my dad's death, not because I'd killed him or I'm not on the run or anything, well, not for that. And it was just a case of I regretted so much about the way I treated my dad. In retrospect, I was just a kid, but the guilt ate me up and it just went unchecked. And so it led to a period of self-loathing that resulted in about 30 years of darkness, let's say, and a lot of self-destructive behavior, just because I didn't feel worthy of any love. I'm still struggling with it today, but at least I think I recognized the root cause. And so this act is my way of telling that story. There's a bunch of symbolism in this act. So the dark ocean, the depths of the ocean, is symbolic of a few things. You know, it's the part of my life and the part of myself that I don't want to go to and don't want to acknowledge, don't want to know about. The body armor, bubble envelope, body armor, is symbolic of, you know, the armor I put around myself to protect myself from ultimate self-destruction. Let's just go there. And in this performance, I've actually appeared as myself for the first time in anything that I've ever done. When I say myself, I mean out of drag, me. You will see I bear myself fully, censored in the right places, according to the rules. But yeah, I go down into the deepest, darkest part of the ocean, and there is a creature that I encounter there that in my mind symbolizes the self-loathing. The creature also symbolizes a period of destructive behavior. I'm not really going to go into too much detail, other than this is a look back on a period of my life that thankfully I now kind of have a chance of healing. Because I've been able to recognize where it all came from. However, through a period of about 30 years, there were times where let's just say, it was very dark. And therefore, I hope, shows that in this performance that that darkness is enticing, but also deadly. So now to the question I really hate, which is that why I think I should win. I honestly don't think I should win, which is pretty much the root of the problem. But let's say objectively, if you're looking at what I've put together for this contest, I think it shows off what I can do in a nice way, in that it's a combination of different skill sets that I have all in one act. So you can kind of see that I've produced a look with my own fair hands, my own webbed hands, created the costume completely from scratch. The editing side of things as well shows skills in creating the illusion of being underwater and sinking deep into the ocean, bearing in mind none of it was actually filmed underwater, obs. So, there's some technical skill there that I hope gets me some points. But yeah. Do I deserve to win? In my heart of hearts, currently, I would say that's not for me to say. Do I deserve to win? Enjoy!
If you want to find aliens, strange beings from another dimension, you don't need to scour the depths of outer space. They're already here amongst us, under the sea. This powerful and highly complex and intelligent creature has a strangely piercing gaze. Could it be a look of recognition? Who knows?
where to start. I feel like we've got so much to unwrap from that, from the prosthesis to the way that you made everything like you were underwater, to the costume work, the bioluminescence of everything, the way the video was put together, the song choice, just everything worked together and just put together, and it came to such a perfect package. I thought it was fantastic. Thank you again for sharing that with us. I really felt where you were coming from. It really did deliver a lot of emotion for me, and I very, very, very much enjoyed that. That was fantastic. But I lost track of time while I was watching it because I was enjoying it so much. I have to commend you as well on making an outfit out of bubble envelopes. Wouldn't even know where to start on doing that, so well done you. Let's hear from our judges. Crystal Paul, how did you find that?
How did I find that? I found that utterly mesmerising. The story itself, the reasons for choosing that production, that theme, was very candid and personal and deep. And Dorian, you come across so lovely, just so humble, so sweet and kind, and you're doing drag for all the most perfect, wonderful reasons. Drag is for you and you're for drag. It's one of those things where you sometimes think, does someone may need drag, but does drag need them? Well, drag needs you for sure. You bring so much to it. In terms of the number, the look was fantastic, the music was fantastic, the sound design, the bubbling bubbles cascading around. And what was even greater is that it wasn't actually a long number, it was quite a short number. And it delivered so much, it let so much breathe and people just absorb what was happening. Very cleverly crafted, and it came from the soul, and I really liked that. That caught my attention. Well done.
Thank you, Crystal Paul. Now this one lives by the sea, so I'm pretty sure she'd have enjoyed it. Nanny Vicky, what are your thoughts on Dorian, my love?
Okay, so it's not often that I don't have a lot to say. But I found that ridiculously emotional. The journey that video took us on was exceptional. Everything about that was beautiful, and I really, really loved it.
Thank you very much. Beautiful. And finally, let's hear from Baron. What did you think of Dorian's performance?
Dorian, hello. I've been aware of Dorian's work for a few years. I think I've been following them for a few years on the Instagrams. And my immediate thought when I think of Dorian is the Jack Frost look. Just absolutely spot on. But let's get on to the performance. Watching the confessionals, I found it really easy to connect to you. I think an audience would find it very easy to relate to you, which I think is a wonderful personality to have. From top to bottom, it was absolutely stunning. The fact that you did the bits in the performance out of drag as well is really brave, because not a lot of drag artists are comfortable doing that. I wouldn't. But it also links to the symbolism of the armour that you created from the bubble wrap envelope, like the armour that we use to keep ourselves safe. And for a lot of us, the armour that we use is the drag. And for this, you've gone at it two ways, and I really appreciate the thought that went into that. I always love costumes made from unusual materials. The video editing was stunning. The fact that you filmed it in 4x speed so that you could get the movement of the underwater, I love that. I love the transitions between out of drag and the creature. Just the facial, beautifully done. The way the hair was moving under the water because of the way you'd filmed it. The bioluminescence. If you couldn't tell, I was living for this. Living.
Amazing. Thank you so much, my love. Wow. What a way to start the show. Incredible. I can't wait to see what other three contestants have got for us. So, should we be moving swiftly on? I think we should. Now, unfortunately, we must leave Scotland and travel back down to somewhere else in England to meet charcuterie. Let's meet the monster.
Hi, I'm Charcuterie, and this is my wee confessional tape. I have been doing drag since the tail end of 2019. In terms of how I got into it, I suppose I've always been curious, even when I was sort of in my teens. I found a diary entry a while ago from 2013, where I was like, oh, I'd really like to try drag. I think I let my idea of what drag is, was, and could be clouded by a set of specific aesthetics and specific ideals that are championed by a lot of, for lack of a better term, by a lot of mainstream drag. And so I didn't really feel like I was ever going to meet those ideals because I wasn't thin enough or pretty enough or polished enough or skilled or whatever it is. I just wasn't, for whatever reason, I wasn't going to be enough. And it took most of my 20s to get to a point where I was like, actually, there's an incredibly diverse scene through drag, especially in my experience, especially within the UK scene. And it really is the case that all drag is valid and that drag has no rules. My style is very much queen meets clown. Sometimes I venture into different stuff. I'm working on some weird, like I like the idea of experimenting with creatures and with horror adjacent. I'd love to try horror, but I get nightmares easily. In terms of my background, it's very much live performance, theatre, musical theatre, singing, comedy, hosting. And so when the pandemic hit, whilst I've been able to do some of that through live streamed events and such, I wanted to challenge myself. After the best part of a year, I wanted to challenge myself by trying to do things designed for this digital platform, and that's part of why I applied for Drag Macabre, is because I'd watched the pilot, and I'd applied for the pilot because I thought this is a really interesting idea. It'd be nice to shine a light on this more alternative, I suppose, for lack of a better term, this sort of less featured realm of drag. In terms of the context around my performance, when I first got the brief of Inner Demons, I settled on an idea very quickly, which was to explore my relationship with food, and to be honest, it's unhealthy nature. And I'd come up with sort of ideas were flowing, and to be honest, I think I got a bit scared of being too exposed, and about being too sort of vulnerable, about being, whilst I don't subscribe to the idea of female illusion within most of my drag, I wasn't sure I wanted to be ugly and grotesque. So I was playing with this idea of the imp of the perverse, which is that voice in your head that says like, oh, well, what if I just hit this person? And you never would, but the voice just goes, oh, go on, see what happened, see what would happen. And then I realised that I was avoiding sort of touching on my first instinct and going with this topic, because I suppose acknowledging it does make me a bit uncomfortable, which is this idea of the self-destructiveness of overeating, particularly to the extent to which I have done it historically, and binge eating, sort of suppressing food with feelings. For me, it was a bit of an exorcism of some of the negativity and the avoidance of talking about that and sort of having those discussions with myself. I don't know necessarily that I think I should win now. I'd like to look at the other videos first, to be honest. In terms of the goals that I set myself going into this process, I feel like I've met them. Pushing myself, pushing the boundaries, and exploring that which makes us uncomfortable, I feel like that's pretty good criteria to judge this contest by, and I hope you agree.
That's why it really hurts to do it to yourself. Just
Wasn't that fantastic? Shah, give yourself a pat on the back, my love. You killed it. That was fantastic. Well done. I just want you to know that you are 100% right. All drag is certainly valid. Your drag is valid, and you should be so proud of yourself. You are fantastic. I also just want to say, you are enough. You're fabulous. You're brilliant. Absolutely incredible. Now, let's hear from our judges. Crystal Paul, what are your thoughts on charcuterie?
My thoughts on charcuterie. Wow, what a personal song. I mean, I'm saying this again and again, all very personal, but that was a very good song choice. That Radiohead number for this type of performance is wonderful. It's the kind of song that has a depressive energy, or is it a energetic depressiveness? That actually was a perfect choice. Bear with me on that one. Given the theme, given that it's lockdown and so many people are coming out of lockdown or living in lockdown feeling unsure about their bodies, their habits, I think it takes something like this from charcuterie to you should receive the commendation for treating it with a sense of delicacy, but also clownery and comedy. It was like the tears of a clown vibe, and I really appreciate that, because transitioning from singing on stage, speaking on stage, which is what you do, to something like this that's more playful and artistic and deeply personal, and possibly something you could only make at home like that, was done really well. And you welcomed us in, and you did it again, a bit like Diosa in the past episode, turning a subject on its head a bit and owning it, and that is wonderfully powerful. So yeah, I really like that. There was something grotesque in it when you were eating an egg that just added to it. Well done, you.
Moving on, Granny Vicky, what did you think, my love?
Oh my God, charcuterie. Wow. The use of the little food demon face throughout the video was so good. And I actually gasped at the end after that panning across the kitchen side and down, and then you had the food demon face on your face. I gasped. I just thought that was so cleverly done. Very, very clever. You should be really, really proud of what you've done.
Thank you. And finally, our extra special guest judge, Baron LeVay. What are your thoughts on charcuterie's performance, my love?
So this one hit hard for me. I have struggled with disordered eating pretty much my entire life. Binge eating and starving, essentially. You said in your confessional, I've got notes, pushing myself, pushing boundaries, and exploring that which makes us uncomfortable. To me, that is what drag is and always will be. Drag has always been a protest and will continue to be a protest. I'm pleased that you didn't go with your second idea. I love the idea of doing an act on intrusive thoughts, but for me, this felt real. Watching it, I could see the fight. Even before the physical fighting was happening, I could see the fight in it. It was difficult to watch, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a really good way. It was difficult to watch because it felt so real. Again, in your confessional, you discussed how you'd put off trying drag for such a long time because specific aesthetics are pushed in the mainstream. However, yes, you are correct. The UK drag scene is incredibly diverse. You were concerned about exposing yourself or feeling too vulnerable. Again, this is what drag is, to me at least, is addressing the things that people are not willing to address in the day-to-day. Things like mental health, religion, politics. These are all super important things that we pull on in drag, because it's what's important to us as a community. And I think you did this incredibly well. We're all our biggest critics, every single one of us. But taking yourself out of your comfort zone and actually being proud of what you've done, I think is a huge deal, and you should be proud of it, because it is stunning. Stunning.
Thank you so much. Round of applause to you. We're 2 fabulous contenders down in tonight's episode, but we still have 2 more before we make any final decisions. So, the next monster we'll be meeting is Lucius Black.
Lucius, my drag persona, came about through, I think, watching a lot of shows like Young Dracula, and whenever I'd watch like a Disney film, I would probably see the villain and I'd probably be like, something about that character, don't know what it is, but I like it. So I think that kind of manifests itself into my drag. And I think compared to me, who, you know, has like a very kind of boring retail job, kind of shy, like socially awkward, it's nice for me to kind of come home and become this different person, who has, like, you know, better clothes than me, better jawline, more confidence, nicer hair than me, and I think within that my drag is also kind of a self-expression of gender envy almost, you know, like I'll pick things out about, you know, people that I find attractive, and then I'm like, I'll do that, I'll be that myself. So I think that's very much how Lucius came to look how he does today. The story, the creative process, I guess, and the story behind why I chose to do this performance is kind of like a running joke between me and my mom, because I think when I first kind of started coming out to her about my drag, she's totally fine with it. I used to cosplay, so she's used to me running into her room at like 3 AM being like, look, I finished this outfit. But I think she could see, like, even my, it definitely, yeah, my confidence had, I suppose, changed when I was more in drag. And she would just kind of say it was like Jekyll and Hyde. So that is my, the story of my performance is that I'm basing it off Jekyll and Hyde. Because I think I want to kind of bring a point to, I think, how with a lot of other people, their drag is, you know, another side to them, like the duality of man. The story around my chosen performance idea is kind of like a running joke between me and my mum, which is that myself and my drag are like Jekyll and Hyde, because the kind of the personalities and the way that, like, I suppose I feel are, like, you know, pretty different. So I'm basically doing a song from the Jekyll and Hyde musical, because I want to kind of bring attention to, I guess, like, maybe something that, like, I suppose a lot of drag performers will feel that they are just like it's two different people. So this is all just about the duality of man, the kind of side of themselves that they might not want to show people or don't know how to kind of show to people, and then the kind of edgelord thing of, like, you know, good or evil, the balance of, you know, kind of keeping a double life. Why I should win? Well, if I should win, I think that would be a good redemption for me, because I think the last thing I won was an egg and spoon race in primary school. Or I think there was a Harry Potter house party I went to, and technically I was on a Slytherin team, and we did win, but I think that was because we cheated. So I think this would be good for me to just have something more recent and more of a respectable place.
It's over now, I know inside. No one will ever know the sorry tale of Edward Hyde and those who died. No one must ever know. They'd only see the tragedy. They'd not see my intent. The shadow of Hyde's evil would forever kill the good that I had meant. Am I a good man? Am I a madman? It's such a fine line between a good man and a... Do you really think that I would ever let you go? Do you think I'd ever set you free? If you do, I'm sad to say it simply isn't so. You will never get away from me. All that you are is a face in the mirror. I close my eyes and you disappear. I'm what you face when you face in the mirror. Long as you live, I will still be here. All that you are is the end of a nightmare. All that you are is a dying scream. After tonight, I shall end this demon dream. This is not a dream, my friend, and it will never end. This one is the nightmare that goes on. Hyde is here to stay, no matter what you may pretend. And he'll flourish long after you're gone. Soon you will die and my memory will hide you. You cannot choose but to lose control. You can't control me, I live deep inside you. Each day you feel me devour your soul. I don't need you to survive like you need me. I'll become whole as you dance with death. And I'll rejoice as you breathe your final breath. Inside you forever, with Satan himself by my side. And I know that now and forever I'll never be able to separate Jekyll from Hyde. Can't you see it's over now? It's time to die. No, not I. Die in me, I'll be you. Damn you, Hyde, leave me be. Can't you see you are me? No, deep inside, I am pure. You are Hyde. No, never. Yes, forever. God damn you, Hyde. Take all your evil deeds and rot in hell. I'll see you there, Jekyll.
Lucius, I think I'm a little bit in love with you. I really related to you when you were speaking about confidence in drag and, you know, the escape that it provides. I think, again, it's something that a lot of artists really relate to and will totally be on board with that. I didn't even know, admittedly, And this is a crime, because I'm a theatre kid and a horror lover. I didn't know Jekyll and Hyde musical existed. So thank you so much for introducing me to that. I know exactly what musical I want to see next. It was just really beautiful, really brought me into your world. And again, I was engrossed. I think you're an absolutely amazing performer when it comes to emotion. I really thought your facial expressions and the way that you sort of held yourself really sold emotion well, and that's something that I really personally love in drag. I want you to do a full Jekyll and Hyde musical for me, please. Now, moving on to our judges. Crystal Paul, I know you're a camp old ball. What did you think about Jekyll and Hyde the musical?
I love a musical. I absolutely do. Lucius Black drew such attention to that duality of drag, the two different sides in and out of drag, and swung it around to show even more sides to the characters. Wonderfully done. Jekyll and Hyde the musical. I can see the cosplay inspirations there, the characterizations. Lucius, you looked amazing. The outfits, the characters, the setup. I almost wanted you to let go as it built up and the monster came out, but I think you did it incredibly well. It was such a good way to convey such a fundamental side to drag, to the strange situation we find ourselves in, the queer experience, and you filmed it so well, so creatively, and I think only you could do that. Well done.
Thank you so much, Paul. Now, moving on to this one, and I know she's a camp old bitch who remembers when Broadway was invented. Granny Vicky, what did you think about Lucius Black?
Well, I can't personally say that I've seen the Jekyll and Hyde musical. I'm just going to go out there and say that your portrayal of Hyde is my heartthrob of this episode. Wow. I'm glad that I've got a waterproof sheet on my bed. That was simply beautiful. I feel really horrid. However, it was a Broadway number and I would have loved to have seen Broadway level performance to them really big voices and that really bold kind of song and statement that was happening. However, it was an incredible performance to watch and very well thought out, the inner demon thing, that fight and struggle inside you. I really enjoyed it.
Hands off, they're mine. All right. And finally, we come to our extra special guest judge for this week, Baron LeVay. What did you think of this macabre piece of theatre, my love? Did you thoroughly enjoy it?
And what a macabre piece of theatre that was. Lucius Black, I've known for years now, I think. And you know I always relate to the villains. That is my aesthetic also. Your confessional, again, really relatable. The self-expression of gender envy. Yeah, and you'll be aware of the if you can't date them, cosplay them. That is how I live my life, literally. Everything you do is aesthetically pleasing. You think about every detail, from the beautiful bottle you had in that video, to the frame of the mirror, the red of the velvet that you could see, the rosaries, the candles. You fit the dark Victorian aesthetic to a T, and it's one of my favourite things about you. The shots in the mirror were really cleverly done, really beautiful. Perfect choice of music. I don't have anything to say other than, again, a perfectly aesthetically pleasing performance from Lucius Black.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Lucius. That was insane. Haven't they all been another amazing bunch of performers? Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to everyone that has entered for your hard work, dedication, and how much you've just put into these numbers. Honestly, this is what makes this show so fun to do, because you are so passionate about what you're doing, and I Thank you so much and commend you on that. I can't wait to come and see each and every one of you in person. We're approaching the end of the evening now, but do you want another one? We're staying somewhere in England, and this time we're a little closer to home with a performer that's taken to the stage for the very first time. This one's going to be a bumpy ride with a lot of hell. Let's meet the monster.
My name's a lot of hell, I'm 31 years old and I'm a non-binary trash hooker from hell. I'd describe my drag as a little glam, punk rock with a dash of sex, and I'm passionate about creating wonderful things out of affordable materials. A Lotta was born during lockdown last year, when I was going through a difficult time in my life. I was struggling with both my mental and physical health. Drag is my happy place, it allows me to be confident, and it's a big middle finger to my insecurities. The idea behind my performance is the feeling of being haunted by depression and how it can cause destructive behaviour in the pursuit to numb your inner demon. A lot of time, thought and effort has gone into creating not only my first digital performance, but my first ever performance in drag. From making a backdrop, props and a fully realised costume, I've managed to bring my vision to life. I'm thankful to Luna for this amazing opportunity to learn and grow as an artist and an entertainer, and I cannot wait for you to take a trip into the dark corners of my mind. Why should I win? Well, because I'm a fucking rock star. I've learned a lot about myself during this experience, and I've poured my little black heart and soul into this competition. As someone who has battled with inner demons my whole life, it is personal, and I'll let it speak for itself.
I'll follow you into the dark. I'll be the shadow creeping through every part of you. I've got a hold. You think by now you know that you'll never be alone. You know you'll always be haunted, haunted. Hey, I'm getting under your skin. You're stuck with me till the end. How does it feel to be haunted, haunted? Hey, I'm getting into your bones, and everywhere that you go, you know you'll always be haunted. How does it feel? So how does it feel? I am the face you see inside, in your own reflection. The mirror never lies. Come out at night. I'll be your only friend. I'm just a breath behind. You know you'll always be haunted, haunted. You know you'll always be haunted, haunted. Hey, I'm getting under your skin. You're stuck with me till the end. How does it feel to be haunted, haunted? Hey, I'm getting till the end. How does it feel to be haunted?
So you're trying to tell me that that was the first performance you've ever done? My fucking wig comes off to you. I could only have dreamt of being that good for my first performance. Quite frankly, that's blown me away. For someone as their first performance, I am shook. I'm a little bit lost for words. For a first time performance, how? Perfect work, loved it. Now, it's about time we heard from our judges, don't you think? Crystal Paul, are you tripping?
Am I tripping? Well, someone may have laced this water with something. That was wonderful. I must say, for the first ever performance, let alone first ever digital drag performance, a lot of hell, you've done yourself proud. You put so much work and effort into that. Honestly, that setup at the start, you got me hooked. The basement, the candles, I loved that. And the transformation into that track, I almost wanted that blue light to stop so I could see that look up close, see all that wonderful detail you put in. But you are living the rock dream, and I appreciate that entirely. The smoke, the sparks, the darkness, there was a good solid lip sync in that. A big well done to you. Very big well done.
Thank you for your kind words, Paul. Always appreciated, my love. Now, moving on to Granny Vicky. Let's see what she's got to say, shall we?
First ever performance. I'm just letting that sink in for a minute. Your differentiation between your characters, your video skills, you really have an eye for what looks good, and I actually think that what you've produced there is better than I've seen more established queens do throughout the lockdown period, so I have nothing to say. Really, really well done.
Sheesh mish blood slag. And finally, we come to our extra special guest judge for the week, Baron. Now, my love, can you handle a lot of hell?
A lot of hell. I'd never heard of you, and now I'm really glad that I have. Most drag artists would be absolutely thrilled with that performance. The fact that it's your first ever performance, I think you're going far. I think lockdown has been a source of introspection for many of us. I think it's led to a lot of us discovering things about ourselves. It's definitely been a level of self-discovery in lockdown for me. The fact that you discovered drag, as you called it, your happy place, is amazing, because drag is that character that we can become to forget about all of the shit that's happening, and you definitely just... So we'll get on to the performance. The aesthetics, again, I live for a good gothic aesthetic, and that candle on the vanity through the mirror with the makeup crying down your... Oh, beautiful. Really stunning shots, like absolutely beautiful shots in that. I've fallen in love with you. I'm fallen completely head over heels in love with you. A lot of hell. I think the lighting choices were perfect. The fire moments, again, perfect.
Thank you so much, Baron. Well, that's it. You've seen all our performers for the evening. Who was your favourite? Sound off in the chat and let me know who your favourite was. Before we go any further, I'd just like to remind everyone that all of our performers' tipping links and follow links will be in the description boxes, as well as tagged in their performances. So, you know, if you fancy a cheeky rewatch, just rewind through, watch them all again, follow and give them a little tip. Thank you very much. I've consulted with the judges and have collected everyone's votes once again. But once again, You're going to have to wait to the final to find out. It's a very interesting selection this evening, I must say. 2 places in the finale are gone, 2 more to go. Good luck to everyone else that's joining them. You're going to need it.
Do you know, the fat bitch is only ever thinking about her stomach, isn't she? Worrying about going off and having something to eat. I'll just like to take this opportunity to thank everyone involved tonight, especially the judges. So thank you so much, Crystal Paul, for everything you've done. We do love you. Thank you to Luna. I don't know why, but thanks anyway. And a massive, massive thank you to the guest judge, Baron LeVay. It's been a pleasure having you on this episode.
Oh, honestly, what an incredible show it's been. I've been blown away by these performances. If I had been able to produce performances like that in such a short space of time like some of these have, yeah. Amazing show, absolutely incredible. Hail Satan, hail yourself.
And now I think she's going to go and get herself something to fucking eat, isn't she?
Please join me again next week with another Fiendish 4 from our group of Sinister 16 contestants. I've thoroughly enjoyed tonight. I'm off to go and have something nice to eat and find myself the Jekyll and Hyde musical so I could try and watch it. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. It's meant the world that this series has got the support that it has. I have so much fun doing it and I can't wait to see what comes next. And remember, stay spooky. I'll see you on the other side. Unpleasant dreams. How could I forget an extra special guest judge? Or should I say 2 extra special guest judges?
I don't know what to say except it was so delicately done.
That was some powerful stuff right there.
I'm quite emotional, actually.
It was unique. It was unique and it was really good, high quality production.
No, I'm not wearing clean knickers tonight. I've had this current pair on for 3 days.
Give me a break though. I fucking died and reincarnated again. You know, my hormones going fucking bananas.